A Syrian refugee showdown on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers want serious restrictions put into their entry into the U.S.
The White House vows to fight. Today, the Republican-controlled House fired the first shot.
KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan joins us now with the brewing battle. Dave?
Well, those who support the program say that this is a victory for the Keep the Refugees Out. The fallout from the Paris terrorist massacre has now landed in Washington. Concerned about reports that at least one of the Parisian terrorists reportedly entered Europe with a fake Syrian passport, the House today voted to slap new restrictions on allowing Syrian refugees to resettle in America.
This vote, the yeas are 289. And the nays are 137. The bill is passed.
Throwing down the gauntlet to President Obama and administration policy on vetting Syrian refugees who want to escape to the U.S., the House overwhelmingly passed a bill that would effectively block Syrian and Iraqi refugees from entering the country without specific certification from the FBI director and two other high-ranking national security officials that the refugees pose no danger.
There is a very real possibility that a terrorist, particularly one from or claiming to be from Syria or Iraq, will attempt to gain access to the United States as a refugee.
The new House Speaker declared the bill would safeguard the American people.
If our law enforcement and intelligence community cannot verify that each and every person coming here is not a security threat, then they shouldn't be allowed in.
47 Democrats crossed over and voted with Republicans to pass the bill. 22 members of the California delegation voted yes on the bill. 31 voted no. 8 California Democrats, many of whom represent toss-up districts in next year's election, joined the crossovers and voted yes with the Republicans. That includes Congressman Pete Aguilar from Redlands, Julia Brownlee from Westlake Village, and Janice Hahn from San Pedro. On the House floor, Democratic Congressman Brad Sherman from Sherman Oaks, who argued against the bill, charged the country's security leaders would be so busy evaluating refugee requests, they'd have little time for anything else.
Our security leaders will be full-time refugee evaluators. Read the bill, vote no.
Sherman and other Democrats argue a bigger danger than the Syrian refugees is the visa waiver program that allows more than 14 million people a year to enter the U.S. with virtually no oversight, as long as they have passports from any one of 38 countries.
And if we focus on only a few hundred Syrians who have gone through a 2-year process, and we ignore 13 million visitors from Europe, 1 million from the greater Middle East, we will have been tricked by ISIS into a very bad policy.
The issue is also front and center on the presidential campaign trail.
Turning away orphans, applying a religious test, discriminating against Muslims, slamming the door on every Syrian refugee, that is just not who we are. We are better than that.
Republican candidate Ben Carson, however, used a metaphor about rabid dogs when asked about the Syrian refugee issue.
If there's a rabid dog running around your neighborhood, you're probably not going to assume something good about that dog, and you're probably going to put your children out of the way. Doesn't mean that you hate all dogs, and you're thinking, how do I protect my children?
Now, under terms of the bill, the Syrian resettlement program would be suspended until procedures can be developed under which the 3 top national security officials, including, as we said, the FBI director and the Homeland Security Secretary, would certify that each Syrian refugee, one at a time, would not be a security risk. That's why most observers believe no Syrian refugees would actually be admitted. Juan?
Dave, where will things go from here, from now on?
This has an unclear future right now. It goes to the Senate, but it's unclear when the Senate would take it up, if at all, because the Senate's working on its own version of a refugee security bill. Again, they may vote on it, they may not. But if the House bill does pass the Senate, President Obama has vowed to veto it. And if today's margin in the House stays the same, there would be enough votes to override a presidential veto, but that's a long way down the road.
All right, Dave, thanks so much for that. To see a complete list of how local representatives voted today, just go to our website, kcal9.com.